Hi there, I'm Dr. Bob Izett, and I'm glad that you're coming to watch me today. I hope you are on Periscope. Today's topic, what causes emotion and why should we even care about it? That's our topic. I'm a practitioner of cognitive behavioral psychology. I also love positive psychology. I try to put these two theories and practices together and come up with tools and techniques to help us learn emotional health, well-being, and happiness. So I'm a big believer that we can, through good learning, establish a high level of emotional well-being, mental health, and happiness. Thanks for the hearts there. That's very kind. We appreciate hearts. We appreciate your connecting here at this site. Please excuse the pile of books sitting in front of the picture. It's there for a reason. It's keeping my my images in front of me more appropriate looking. So here's what I need to say as we start off. Here on Periscope, although we do focus in on tools and techniques for teaching mental health and well-being, we do not diagnose or treat mental disorders, and we are not a substitute for seeking out professional help through a psychologist or other mental health worker when you need that. Please consider that as a appropriate alternative when you're in need of that. Hello, 2-Minute Tennis. Thanks for joining up. Please excuse the pile of books sitting in front of the image. That will change shortly. So my handle here on Periscope is Feel Right Doc. A couple more pieces of business. You'll find my website if you type in on your Google search thinkrightfeelright.net. That's thinkrightfeelright.net. So please check it out. I put things up there that relate to topics we talked about here on Periscope. Also, I'll be putting up other content in the general area of emotional health and well-being. You also, if you go to my website, you'll also find a link there to my book, Think Right, Feel Right, which you're looking at right now. Hope you'll check that out. A lot of the content, but not all, is content that we'll be talking about here on Periscope. So you'll be able to get that for free. You'll get plenty of good stuff for free. Couple of the Periscope topics that I've already presented, Happiness Traps, and then Happiness Traps Part 2, are new contents not mentioned in the book, but they're interesting and valuable, I think, for getting a better handle on these tools and techniques for managing your own well-being. So, topic again today is what causes us to feel emotion and why should we even care about it. All right, and I'm Dr. Bob Izett. Welcome to this presentation, and I would love to have your comments and your questions and suggestions for new topics when you have them. You can also email me at thinkrightfeelright1@gmail.com. So what do you think about that topic for today? What causes emotion and why should we even care about it? So thanks for the hearts. And it's really an important question. And believe it or not, It's this topic becomes the first chapter in the book. I consider it so important. Knowing why we feel what we feel gives us a chance to do something about it, perhaps. If we don't know or are incorrect about where our feelings come from, we can do a lot of things that might be moving in the wrong direction, chasing our own tail, as it were, seeking out substitutional solutions, maybe medication when it's not needed. Self-medication might be another road that some people go down in an effort to feel better when their emotions don't feel right. Blaming others for how we feel, projecting it onto the world around us. Lots of possibilities here. So, again, I'm Dr. Bob Isett, and we're going to be talking about the roller coaster ride. Give me just 1 second. Okay, maybe 2 seconds. There we go. I hope you're seeing the roller coaster people all lined up in front of the roller coaster, waiting to go on. Excuse me. So what the heck do roller coasters have to do with knowing how we feel? Well, let's go ahead and I'll weave together a story that's told in the first building block of my book called Mary and Jane and the Roller Coaster Ride. Please pardon the names. They're sort of old-fashioned. But let me say this in defense of that. So is. Many of the ways that we think about emotion are themselves old-fashioned and not necessarily spot on in terms of helping us to gain control over our own feelings. That's kind of where we're heading today. So anyway, there we are. Let's see. We have Mary and Jane probably standing at the front of the line there. And, okay, pretend that I happen to be standing behind them. And this is what I'm hearing as I watch Mary and Jane talk about going on the roller coaster ride. Mary says to Jane, "Wow, this ride is terrific. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to go on it." And Jane responds back, I don't know about that. Seems awfully big, awfully tall, awfully scary. I'm afraid it's going to scare me to death. That's what I'm hearing. So I'm thinking about the conversation. And so I say to them, well, may I speak to you for a moment about your own thoughts and feelings about going on the roller coaster ride? I said, well, we usually don't talk to strangers, but we'll make an exception here. What is it you want to know? And Mary, I say, I want to know, Mary, why do you like roller coaster rides? And she says, well, they're a lot of fun. They excite me. They make me really happy. Okay. Jane, what's your take on that? What do you think about roller coaster rides? And she says, they scare the heck out of me. I'm not even sure I want to go on. I'd like to probably get out of here. And I then stand in confusion about what they're saying and tell them I don't quite get it. How could this be? And, how could it be that this big pile of wood and steel here, maybe some steel in it now, is making you, Mary, think it's just so wonderful, and you, Jane, think it's god-awful? How does it do that? How does it make you feel one way and you feel the other? Isn't it just a big pile of wood and steel? Does it have little wires, I think? I'm thinking to myself, going into your head, Mary, saying, love me, I'm terrific. And different wires going into your head, Jane, saying, run away from me, I'm scary. Of course, it doesn't. And as I start to ask them more about this, they turn to me and say, this is getting too complicated and too philosophical, and we'd rather just continue this conversation by ourselves, so you'll have to excuse us. And I said, well, of course I will. And they have every right to ask me not to dig into their private feelings about roller coasters. However, the issue is much, much larger than that. And so, while we can overlook perhaps their strange thinking about roller coasters, it wouldn't be a good idea for us to have that kind of thinking as adults. What's wrong with that kind of thinking? Again, I'm Dr. Bob Izett, and this is a Periscope dealing with what causes emotion and what we can do about it. And right now we're exploring that. And I welcome you, and I welcome people who might be looking at this scope on replay. By the way, viewers should know that these scopes are also being posted on YouTube, where I think you'll be able to see them for a longer period of time than would be the case with Periscope, which saves them for one day. All right. So we called into question the idea that Mary and Jane were both saying that the roller coaster was causing them to feel, if you will, in different ways. And that's kind of silly when you think about it, because roller coasters, man on the moon, beautiful sunsets, stars in the heaven, and a flat tire do not cause us to feel anything. Okay? They're not the cause of what we feel, although we frequently think that they are. We blame people, places, and things for how we feel. We wrongly attribute causal connections between external events and our emotions, whether we feel sad or happy, angry or scared, worried, excited. Very frequently we're talking about it in terms of something's making me feel this way, he's bothering me, she's upsetting me, etc., etc., etc. Those thoughts are incorrect. And of course, the reason why this is so important is if you're going to do anything about your feelings, you have to understand where they're coming from, who's making them, who's causing them. And if not the world around you, then it is you. So you are the maker of your disturbing feelings and your really good feelings. The world around you doesn't determine how you think or feel. You do. Okay, let me move on one more step here. Again, welcome to viewers who are watching this Periscope that's dealing with the causes of emotion. And we're kind of cutting through common misperceptions about what causes us to feel the way we do. All right, I am going to flip this camera around at some point, if only to say goodbye to you people. But in the meanwhile, now we're looking at a flag, an American flag. I bring this up for a reason. And again, I'm making an assumption. You and many people, maybe you, certainly many people, look at the flag and what do they think? What do they think when they look at the flag? Well, they think it's got maybe 50 stars up there in the field of blue and maybe 7 red stripes and 6 white, but they also feel things, right? Maybe they feel patriotic, uplifted, glad to be a nation under